Simon, in pre-season, seems a long time ago now, you went on the record on the huddle saying that you guys were really keen to shake that little brother, little cousin tag, whatever it is. How much do you think not only winning this game this weekend against United, but consistently beating United would help to shake that tag that some people still might see you as?
Yeah, I think that's the goal. Ultimately, you want to do it in a final series, and preferably for a championship. And until we do that, until we get that opportunity to beat Melbourne in that scenario, I guess people are going to reflect upon us as being that.
And obviously early in the season you had guys out with injury. Rowdy, Zhou Chi was obviously coming back. Mitch Creek had a bit of an interrupted pre-season. There are a few doubters about the Phoenix, and now you've absolutely hit a really good vein of form. Is there a little bit of a chip on the shoulder of the group of saying there were some doubters of what we can do, but now we're really firing?
I'm not sure that's our motivation, to be honest. Look, don't really get involved in listen to too many people and read too many articles or get on too many podcasts when it comes to the NBL. It's I get myself involved in American politics and stuff like that, NFL. So yeah, the doubters were neither here nor there for us. We knew where we're at. Heavily interrupted, not having Mitch for the whole of pre-season, barely having Rowdy, had him for about 5 sessions, and not having our import trio until very late, and then losing 2 of them, and then Zhou Chi at the very end. So it's been crazy. But from a positive, we've been able to get minutes into our development players and some of our younger guys on the roster, which we feel is going to build us stronger for the long run. We know that we can count on those guys in key situations. They've had to play key minutes for us early in the season. Whilst we may not have been successful, it certainly has given them the experience and given us the trust in those players too.
And I mentioned before, the battle in the paint looks like it's going to be quite interesting on the weekend, purely just because United have a couple of injuries there and look a bit undersized. Some of their smaller guys might be able to outmaneuver some of the bigger bodies that you may have. How do you see that battle playing out? Yeah,
I think they'll definitely go with smaller lineups. Obviously Barlow at the 5 creates a different matchup for us. And then you got Brad Newley seeing some minutes at the 4, and then you bring that speed onto the floor as well. So if you want to cross-match Barlow and say, okay, we'll put a 4 on him, but we'll put the 5 on Newley, Newley's going to blow by guys. So really creative matchup problems, or really huge matchup problems for both sides, really, because they're just, we've got the big guys, they've got the mobile guys, they've got the shooters, and we've got the guys that play close to the basket. So, yeah, we'll see how it runs. I think with both teams, they'll have to be a little bit creative with it. May see some zone, may see some cross matches. It's, we'll get to that.
And last season, especially in the back half, you guys dropped quite a few close games at the end, or ones that you were in front in, and this season it almost looks like there's been a bit of a shift and you guys are winning those tight games, whether it be Trey Kell's mid-range or Rowdy's massive and 1 on the weekend. Has anything sort of changed within the group that's allowed you to win those games?
Personnel. Yeah, it's a different team. Different expectations within this group, different ways of doing things, different systems. Everything's different. There's no lag from last year into this team. There's no scars that we're carrying. We're a new group, and our expectations are high this year.
And Gary Brown and Trey Kell have seen Kyle Adnam sort of shift to the bench after he was really, really good starting in the absence of those guys. How has he taken to that role? And he's still hitting the scoreboard, and he's obviously a leader within the group. But how is the guard rotation looking with those 2 guys really coming back from injury?
Yeah, Kyle's well across what his role is on the team. The good thing about Kyle is he can fulfill multiple roles. When he's been thrown into the starting lineup, he's done well. But I think his best game was probably against New Zealand coming off the bench. I thought he was really good against Brisbane coming off the bench as well. So he knows his role as a leader amongst our ball club. And he accepts whatever's given to him and does it to the best of his abilities.
And it's looking like it's going to be a full house or very close to full house here on the weekend. Obviously not your team's home game, but I'm going to imagine there's going to be a lot of South East Melbourne fans in the crowd. What would it mean to be able to get the win over United in front of such a packed and pretty lively house?
Yeah, well, we had a really good home crowd against the Adelaide 36ers last week. Our crowd was amazing, over 7,700, I believe, and very, very loud. If we can get some of those people through the doors, that'd be fantastic. But it's always exciting to play Melbourne in Melbourne. Just from a greater standpoint, just seeing basketball in the state return. A couple of lean years through COVID. It's just great to see all these people back in the stands. I think both Melbourne and ourselves are doing much better at home with regards to attendance this year, and that's really promising. And we hope to see that continue as the season goes on.